want to open part 2 of my impressions from Resident Evil Requiem with something I came across just the other day. An article on website Aftermath titled "A game doesn't need to be by and for fans." It's mostly about Life is Strange, but the author makes a broader claim that fans don't deserve anything when it comes to what a game should be, that games should be made exactly the way the developers envision them, narratively and mechanically. Here's the thing, and here's what article says. It's easy to see how we reached this point. The world is a mass potential on the brink of war and certainly in the throes of ecological collapse. The games industry itself is imploding with jobs lost by the thousands and studios fizzling away into the ether. Through all this, people want stability. They crave a return to a time when things were not so scary. Wake up. That's just life. It's unfair and brutal. Even in the most comfortable corners of the world, things can start falling apart. Being human means being able to adapt. And the author clearly doesn't understand that there's no going back to some stable baseline from the past, because that baseline is gone. New ones are being built in its place. An executive said big companies with popular franchises want to find ways to sell their games and keep things out of the red. Do it right and you'll even snag a good Metacritic score alongside all these big sales numbers. Funny how Metacritic is still being pushed as some authoritative scoring system for video games. You can see it in many franchises in the AAA space. Having blown up their player base with the disastrous Battlefield 2042, EA fashioned Battlefield 6 into the familiar, well-trod modern warfare of past successes. After spending 2 main entries and almost a decade with the new settings and characters, ignoring various remakes, Resident Evil Requiem returns players to Raccoon City and brings back grizzled veteran Leon Kennedy for some zombie smashing. And the article wraps up with this: characters don't deserve anything and players don't deserve anything but what is true, and stories born of financial anxiety, stories which upturn progress and shift back to the comfortable, are not telling us the truth. I could get into what truth even means here, but that's a pretty philosophical rabbit hole, so I'd rather bring it down to something more grounded. My question is, does the author actually understand what era we all are living in? Does the author understand that art is a business? Sure, there's a corners of art that doesn't need to turn a profit, but the people making it are already financially secure and don't need supplemental income. If every studio with investors and financial obligations started pulling an EA with Battlefield, the video game industry would simply collapse. If everyone makes games that aren't for fans, then who are they for exactly? We're still talking about studios that operate under economic law. If they stop accounting for their fan base, how do they make money? It's either complete isolation from reality, or the author is just wearing some seriously thick rose-colored glasses. Bringing back the elements, the characters, everything that earned the love of players and build a fan base around the franchise, that's what allows the entries in beloved series to exist at all, because when gamers enjoy the game, they buy the product, and when they buy the product, the studio with all its talent gets to keep making the game people love. The best games made by understanding why fans fell in love in the first place. And what I want to say that from Resident Evil 7 all the way to Requiem, Capcom managed to turn the ship around. And not just that, they plugged the leaks too. They didn't just win back old fans of the series, they brought in new ones, and I really hope to see Chris Redfield as a fully playable character in the next entry, with maybe Leon as a second playable character or in a DLC. Either way, Resident Evil 9 and Leon in it is just 2 incredible combinations. He's charismatic hero straight out of an 80s and 90s action movie with flat but adorable jokes. He just cuts through everything in his path regardless of size or ability, and I'm glad the game gave us that. I'm glad Leon plays differently even from Resident Evil 4, where he was already a powerhouse as a character. Now he's the monster, not the enormous creature shambling through the levels, he just eats them for breakfast. But even though Leon is OP, he's still not immortal. For me, playing as Leon felt faster, even though the animations and the general pace of the game stay true to what the series is known for, and the game leans into that. Enemy encounters are dense. You're not just shooting for headshots to clear rooms as fast as possible. The game gives you different methods of zombie dismemberment. Beyond the chainsaw right from the start, which works and looks great, you can just as easily throw explosive barrels at enemies, axes, rebar, basically just have fun. Playing as Leon is a ride, and I got myself feeling something interesting while moving through Raccoon City. It's meditative gameplay. The game doesn't force you to react fast or panic. You have a window to think, to decide how you want to fight, even in moments that feel urgent. You just steadily work your way through the level, calmly looting crates and containers, upgrading, casually eliminating zombies along the way. And when I did get surrounded, I was just enjoying the chance to cycle through my full weapon loadout, and it needs a big inventory to match. Speaking of which, in my Chronos The New Dawn review, I had a real problem with the inventory system. The upgrade progression was artificially gated. Every move across the map turned into multiple backtracking runs. Pick up an item, carry it back to the stash box because you didn't need it right now, go back, continue. It was exhausting, and on top of that, locations became completely empty after the first clear. Just empty corridors. That's a minus for me personally. Yes, that game is built around resource selection and adaptation, but for me, that mechanic just killed the gameplay instead of enhancing it. Resident Evil Requiem, on the other hand, playing through Raccoon City as Leon, the locations are constantly packed with zombies. New events keep happening even on repeat visits. Of course, if you already cleared all the enemies and grabbed the quest item, there's nothing new waiting for you on the way back. But you also have no real reason to go back because you've already looted everything, and the game never gates your inventory upgrades. It doesn't force a choice that drains the fun out of things. Instead, it gives you the option to go full guns blazing whenever you feel like it. On weapons, there are plenty. But in games like this where you're fighting zombies or surviving against some kind of horror, nothing beats a shotgun for me. It's my ultimate weapon. Useless at range, yes, but if the game has one and it's done right, that's fire. And in Requiem, the shotgun feels exactly like that. Up close, it just wipes enemies out. And what makes it even better is that pattern is intuitive here. The hatchet and the shotgun work incredibly well together, especially when you're in the middle of a crowd. I also tried switching camera perspectives for Leon, went back and forth between third person and first person, but with this gameplay style I just didn't find first person as comfortable. I'll give this thought. It does create a different kind of immersion, and it might be worth running a full playthrough as Leon in first person, but the constant force switches back to third person during finishers get frustrating, and honestly it's just genuinely satisfying to watch the animations play out in third person. Even something as simple as reloading the shotgun, and Leon himself visibly changes as the game progresses. I'm glad they gave us Leon. I'm glad we got to go back where it all started. This is the game made for fans, and that's the best thing about it, because the studio cares, even if behind that care is purely a desire to make money. That's understanding how to earn it. Give fans genuine quality fan service. Give them a good story, even if that story isn't deep, even if it doesn't have hidden meanings, even if it's surface level, it's still a story, because it makes you follow it, listen to it. In that sense, Resident Evil Requiem is a genuine contender for Game of the Year. Resident Evil didn't survive because it ignored its fans. It survived because it remembered what made them stay. Thanks for watching to the end, subscribe and hit like if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, thanks anyway. I'll be coming back to that article hopefully in the next video, but for now, drop your thoughts in a comment. What do you think is waiting for us in Resident Evil 10, and what were your impressions of Requiem? See ya!